is good, good people? You are now listening to another episode of At the Plate with Danny Foxworth. I am your humble narrator, Danny Foxworth, and once again, we're joined by an extremely special guest. Man, newly minted member of the In The N.O podcast. Crescent City, 504. You know what I'm saying? He holding it down for the boot, you heard me? Ladies and gentlemen,
yes, sir.
We got the good brother Dubb in the building. Dubb, what's good, bro?
Man, I'm good, man. Just, a wonderful Tuesday morning. Just trying to maintain every day,
That's all we can do, man. Just put our best foot forward. So,
yes, sir.
Man, New Orleans, man. What was life like for a young Dubb growing up in New Orleans?
Life was all right, all things considered. You know what I'm saying? I was born during the notorious murder capital of the world time in the late '80s, early '90s. But between video games, sports, mainly baseball, my first love, it kept me sane. You know what I'm saying? During those tough times.
Right on. So
just yes, sir.
Man, I just saw you recently became the third member of the In The N.O podcast, which covers all things New Orleans Pelicans. So talk about how you fell into that role or how that role found you.
The role found me, actually. Everyone's saying it's my calling to talk sports. That being said, my homie Schmidt, Fiddle Brown on Twitter, hit me up. And I was with my wife at the movies going to see Bad Boys for Life. And I get a text, and I'm like, hey, I want you on the podcast. And I've been trying to do a podcast for a minute, but I just never wanted to put that first foot forward. And if one of my homies, who I'm really, really cool with in real life, you know what I'm saying, hits me up and say, yo, I want you on my podcast to talk basketball, I'm going to turn that down. And so far, I'm 2 episodes in, and I absolutely love it, man.
Dope.
I wish we were, all things considered, a more storied franchise that doesn't always put you in shambles, but I enjoy talking basketball, and I enjoy talking to Pelicans.
Man, because I've been following you on Twitter for a minute, and if I don't know one thing, I know this. You know your shit when it comes to sports, and especially when it comes to the Pelicans, man.
Man, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I always, whenever you make them tweets about B.I. and Herb Jones, I'm like, man, yeah, he's heavily invested, man. I love it.
Yeah, man, it's just, something to do. You got 8.5 hours at work. You don't want to do all of them in front of a computer or on the forklift where I work at. So you just something to, pass the time away, look at some stats, look at some clips, and, try to enjoy yourself.
Words.
It's just sports,
That's true. So now we're going to get into baseball. So what were your earliest baseball memories?
My father, we were watching WGN, and you got 2 choices on that channel, plus TBS, you got the Braves, right? So my dad is watching, the Cubs. I think they were facing the Padres, and I think Andre Johnson was at bat, and I was like, this black dude tearing the cover off the ball.
The Hawk.
And I just fell in love. You know what I'm saying? I just fell in love, and ever since then, I've been with this cursed franchise. But, Rhino, well, we're going to talk about other people later, but, just that team, and, they was winning games at the time. Little did I know what was in store for me. But, I just fell in love, and they had clean jerseys, they had him, then, just, you're 3 years old and you fell in love,
I feel you on that. I remember getting off the bus, and that'll be the first thing I do whenever I get home is just flip through the channels, and there were the Cubs right there every day at like 2 in the afternoon playing games on WGN, and
exactly.
I was drawn into that.
Exactly, I should have been smart enough to broaden my horizons, but hey.
Well, you get that invested, you're stuck with him at that point. So I feel your pain.
Yeah.
So what were some of your
Cubs fan, Go
ahead.
No, I was saying as a Cubs fan, and in the 2010s when your guys faced the Cardinals. I became the biggest Rangers fan for 7 games.
Oh man, that was a heartbreaker.
Nelson Cruz. Nelson Cruz. I'll never let it down.
Game 6. Man, listen, you and me both.
It's always game 6.
I had my world champion draft just typed up on my Facebook. I was this close to hitting send, and I couldn't do it. Thanks for nothing, Nelson Cruz.
Well, yeah, we gonna have some painful game 6 moments on this podcast.
Yeah,
real soon.
So, what were some of your favorite Cubs moments?
Well, the first one, I mean, just 10th inning, Game 7, World Series 2016 is my favorite Cubs moment of all time. Seeing, I forget my man at third baseman throwing it, across the diamond and getting that last out. And I still have the closer, the black reliever, as like my favorite Cubs win gift, closing out the series. And finally, I'm holding my son watching this, the last play of the game and becoming world champions. Outside of that, having a player involved in the home run chase with Sammy Sosa, and actually winning the MVP that year. Everyone, remembers McGuire breaking the record, but Sosa won the NL MVP that year. So, having that. Kerry Wood's 20 strikeout game. I was actually off school that day, and I was able to watch it. And anytime that, we want to have a strike zone that's part of the batter's box, I'm here for it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, that same, Kyle Hendricks, as much as old as he is now, but that NLCS run that he had, out dueling Clayton Kershaw, like, that was a favorite time. Like 2016, the first 5 games of 2003 NLCS until the rest happened. We're seeing Ryan Sandberg and Mark Grace is one of my favorite Cubs. Everyone loves the home run hitter. I love the guy that goes, corner to corner line drive, getting singles, doubles. So Mark Grace is like my favorite Cub of all time.
Okay.
And he wore my favorite number 17.
17.
So, I like him. Like, yes, sir. So I root for him when it was Diamondback and he won it all. So those are my favorite memories of being a Cubs fan. Just, pushing through the hard time, the good times, even though they had some hard times.
Or so, who were some of your favorite Cubs players?
The Hawk, Sean Dunston, Ryan Sandberg, Mark Pryor before his arm, got shot. I was a big Derek Bell guy after, he came over. Like I told you, Mark Grayson is my favorite Cub. And Kerry Wood, like, that's still like in my teens, early 20s, that era of baseball. I really enjoyed that time. As I've grown older, the Cubs ain't had the most likable players, but they wore the pinstripes. We just got Christopher Morel was one of my favorite Cubs, but he just couldn't hold on to a position and didn't have plate discipline, so they just traded him. But he just had a flair about him, that it resonated with me. Like he still tried to have fun playing baseball.
Yeah,
so I really enjoyed him while he was a Cub.
Man, I can't forget about my dog Big Z, or Carlos Zambrano, his hot head ass.
Oh, hey man, he was so much of a hothead. Like when he was on, but like he was a major, walk guy, and when he did not agree that it was a strike, my man will let you know. But also he'd get to the plate one time and take one out the park on you one time. Like they let him pinch hit a few times back in that time, you know what I'm saying? So it was some fun time. Big old Carlos Zambrano, man, he was cool, man. He was a high head, but he was dope.
Yeah, he was one of my favorites, man. Man, have you gotten out to Wrigley Field to catch a game?
I have not gone to Wrigley to catch a game, but I did go on a tour. And before Katrina, I had some grass and clay from the field that they
Wow.
let us collect. So I have not gone to bleachers. I haven't been able to go to Wrigley, but I believe getting the tour, checking out the clubhouse, and getting some actual clay and some grass from the field was even. I even had to put a grass stain in my jeans intentionally, and never washed it for months because I wanted that Wrigley grass stain on my jeans.
I love it.
I just hung the jeans up somewhere.
You should frame them.
You know, it was just unfortunate because of Hurricane Katrina. They're gone now, but
Oh man.
at the time it was like, yo, I'm never watching. Yeah, it is. It is. I'm happy. I'm still allowed to tell the tale, no matter how bad it could be.
I feel you on that. So who are some of your favorite non-Cubs players? It can be past and present.
Isaac Smith, even though he's a Cardinal, like from the past, like Isaac Smith, like I said, Barry Larkin, Barry Bonds is inarguably, in my opinion, the greatest baseball player I've ever seen in my life.
I don't disagree with you at all.
He put fear in my heart. He put fear in my heart as a Pirate, but his plate discipline, his when he was able to feel the ball before he became the cheat code at the plate. I just outside of when he played the club, I admire the Cubs. I admired just watching sheer greatness. Same for Albert Pujols. Like everything on my part is gonna be like NL centric because I have fears of playing these guys. But Pujols, I just enjoyed his work at the plate. Actually, like one guy, and this is my fantasy team. You remember Wander Rodriguez for the Astros?
Sure do.
He was a pitcher.
Yep.
Yeah, like I because he was a favorite stash of mine for fantasy. I used to watch him and really enjoyed his work. Who else? Oh, your guys, Ron Rodriguez and Ivan Rodriguez.
And Juan Gonzalez.
When you guys had all the power hit bats, Juan Gonzalez, there we go, and Ivan Rodriguez. I enjoyed you guys in those Rangers teams, and the guys in Seattle. King Griffey. As much as I talk about King Griffey, I really, really, really love the guy at baseball. Just don't put him up there with Barry. But Euchre, Edgar Martinez.
Yep.
And A-Rod, that era of Seattle Mariners baseball, and Ichiro, if you want to go later on, it's still like 15 years ago. Ichiro, one of my favorite contact here. And my second favorite baseball player of all time is Tony Gwynn. He
My
was
man.
short, he was rotund, look at me. And, the 5.5 hole, just, him finding ways to turn any curveball, any off-speed pitch, and go oppo, go where before they really crack down on, having everything be a shift this way, that way. He would see the opening in the infield and get the ball through there for base hits after base hits. I really just enjoyed it. Before the analytics guys told us that no, he's overrated because he didn't walk much. Man, just watching him play baseball was fun.
Exactly. I couldn't have said it better myself. And so now we're going to get into the 5-question segment. So the first and last question are the same questions I ask every guest I have on here. Questions 2 through 4 are 100% random. So question number 1, what would J-Dubb's go-to school lunch items?
The square pizza. The square pizza was a go-to food lunch item when they had it. Now in New Orleans, they had like home cooked food. We didn't have. We had 3 lines, but it was like a hot dog, whatever. But there was a home cooked line and a pizza line, and I needed to go to one of those two, mainly the pizza one.
Word. Question number 2. What's a food that's specific to New Orleans that you aren't a fan of?
Mufaladas. My homie just called me a couple weeks ago. It's like, man, I'm here with my girl. I want to go to Mufalada. I say, brother, you text the wrong guy. I am not that high a fan of olives enough to want to eat Mufalada. So yeah, I could do without those.
So what is that exactly?
It's a pimento olive based sandwich, a large like sesame seed, or sometimes similar to any everyday bagel topping, and ham or some assaulted meat. As you can see, I'm not a fan of it.
Not a
I
fan.
can't even describe it fully. So, not a fan.
Yeah, yeah. As soon as you said pimento, I was like, yeah, get me off this bus.
See, exactly. I don't understand. People watch the cooking shows, watch the travel channels, see it, they want to try it. Man, just that is definitely a tourist food because your boy don't need it.
All right, so actually, let me add an addendum to that second question. So, question 2B: what's a place in New Orleans that you would recommend?
There's this place. Drago's is a really good spot if you're in the quarter, if you're in the downtown area. I really enjoy those. Outside of what Equanimous St. Brown said, I enjoy it.
Is that the place where they have the char grilled oysters?
Yes.
Okay.
That's exactly where it is.
Got you.
I would recommend that spot. I can't think of the other joint's name. I'm now stunned. There's a joint on Banks that I really enjoy. Banks Bienville. Neo's, that's the name of it. Neo's. It's like away from the hustle and bustle. Now it stay packed because everybody enjoy it, but it's away from the hustle and bustle of the city. But there's a place called Neo's that has wonderful, comfort food.
Okay, how is that spelled?
Neyow.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely keep that in mind because I still haven't been to New Orleans. I'm writing stuff down.
Tenfold.
Question number 3.
Those two spots I definitely recommend.
What's your worst flight experience?
I don't take many flights, but this one, when we were coming from Disney World, there was a group of us, like 11, and that was with late December. We try to go to Disney around Christmas time because we love the setting, and that's when all the airlines shut down because everyone got frosted. We were in Florida, and it was 40 degrees, and they ain't used to that.
Yeah.
So we were stuck in the airport for hours without being able to get on a flight. So that would be my worst. Once we got on there, now we had 2-3-year-olds, so it might have been a worse experience from other people.
Yeah.
Already, we are already dealing with these kids being tired. But that's probably that's my worst flight experience I ever had. Not too many bad ones though outside of that.
Okay. Question number 4. What's your favorite album of 2024?
Oh, okay. I'm not an album guy. I'm a discover singles guy. So I can't tell you I have a favorite album. What I will tell you is that I listen to the Pop Out playlist religiously after the beef was squashed by Kendrick. I was squashed like he squashed Drake. Not that it's a squash beef, but I downloaded the playlist and I listen to that regularly. So that's probably my closest thing to an album.
That's a good call, man. Not like us came on the radio on the way to work this morning. I'm like, okay, this is about to be a good day.
Hey man, that is not exactly the topic I would want about me to be the summertime song. Plus, it's gonna be played in for HBCUs when it's gonna be a long 2024 for my man Drake.
And listen, in perpetuity, beat your ass and hide the Bible of God watching. Bro.
Hey, okay, so I'm gonna go on a little tangent right quick. I'm going on one tangent on that right quick. Okay, so I have a 9-year-old, And me and my wife decided to let him watch the pop out with us because we thought it was some musical history that's going on, and I still believe it is. So he loves Not Like Us. He found a Lego version on YouTube, and it's basically the opening and the first verse. It's a Lego version. It's so dope and it's so funny. So when you say beat your ass and have the Bible, they have that part in Lego form. Look it up, man. It's so funny.
Yeah, I definitely got to check that out now. My interest is peaked.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
And
yes, hey, it's so dope.
And question number 5: what's the last thing that really made you laugh?
Repeat that question.
What's the last thing that really made you laugh?
The last thing that really made me laugh. Oh no, I think I'm losing you. If it's the last thing that really made me laugh, my son, my 9-year-old son, we do a lot of cooking every weekend. And he was trying to make his brownies, and he got the flour going up like LeBron James chalk throw. We were making these so many brownies. And he's a LeBron James fan. Yes. That tickled me real good over the weekend.
That's funny. So if there's anything you want to plug or promote, the floor is yours.
Yeah, man. Like you said, beginning, I'm 1/3 of the In The N.O podcast. It's me, Schmidt Duell, Fiddle Brown on Twitter, and Mason Ginsberg on Twitter as well. That's his name. We discuss Pelicans topics, topics du jour that's associated with the Pelicans. You can find us in the No is N.O as in New Orleans abbreviation. You can find us on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, whatever podcast catcher you got. And we try to have a good time, man.
Yes, sir. I love it. And make sure you like, download, and subscribe to their podcast. And make sure you like, download, and subscribe to At The Plate with Danny Foxworth. You can find my YouTube channel. Subscribe to that. I'm at Danny Foxworth 843. There you can find all the video versions of all the episodes for this podcast, as well as my other podcasts since we last spoke with Danny Foxworth, and my new podcast, Growing Up Low Country with Liz and Danny. J-Dubb, man, it's been an honor and a pleasure to have you on, man. Seriously, this was a lot of fun.
Likewise, man. I enjoyed my time here. You can have me on whenever you want, man.
Absolutely. You have an open door policy.
I'm here.
You have an open door policy. And for J-Dubb and myself, this has been another episode of At The Plate with Danny Foxworth. And until next time, y'all be good. 3 strikes.